Hey, victory.
We had our first loss. If you're wondering where she just fell, don't worry, there's a giant foam pit down there, she's fine.
Well, now you know.
It's a good thing you told me that. I thought you were actually gonna kill human beings for sport. But now I have that part, I know it's all on the up and up. Thanks, Mr. Beast. Alright, let's beast it. Oh god. Maybe I'll change the title. Hold on a sec. Mr. Beast is a dick. Let's see if I can just do that. You won't let me. It conflicts with Twitch's moderation policy. Well, absurd. How about is an ass? Oh, this text may conflict with the moderation policy as well. Mr. Beast is poo poo pee pee. Yeah, there we go. This text may conflict with Twitch's moderation policy. My god. I can't say anything bad about Mr. Beast. Mr. Beast is kinda a shit? This text may conflict with Twitch's moderation policy. Is kinda a poop? Is kinda a poop. Oh, that one worked. That was scaring the shit out of me. I was like, oh god damn, what's going on? Alright, Mr. Beast is kind of a poop. That's what we're gonna have to go with. Doesn't seem that threatening. I mean, if Mr. Beast is watching, he's probably like, oh, I got off easy there. There's some much worse options.
Every single set from Squid Game in real life, and whichever one of these 456 people survives the longest wins 456 grand.
The first game we're gonna play is red light, green light, and they have 30 minutes to cross the red line on the other side of the huge room.
So without further ado, green light.
Okay, whoa, that's it. 19 seconds. That's the entirety of the, oh god. Okay, so I guess the analysis of this entire thing, which was going to be that, like, he watched Squid Game, he obviously enjoyed himself. Sorry, he watched Squid Game, he obviously enjoyed himself, and then right away he was like, okay, I wanna do what the evil rich people did. Like, what, you mean the one like the old guy is running the whole thing? Like, where they just get bored because they're so rich, and because they're bored and rich, they hold these games where they just kill poor people, they just murder like hundreds of poor people. He's like, yeah, I want to do that. I want to make that. I want that. That's my next video. And here we are. Cool.
Red light.
Mr. Ferret King, thank you for supporting the show, and thank you to everyone who has subbed or subscribed. If you have Amazon Prime, don't forget to connect it to your account. Help fund this show. We are not funded by Mr. Beast or any corporate funding. It is 100% user funded, so thank you.
And as you can see, every single player has a device strapped to them that when they're eliminated, it pops. Chris, you want to have a chance at one?
Red light.
Oh!
Oh!
Oh no! I know for sure this guy moved. Green light. Red light. Oh, yo, they're dropping. Okay, now some people are getting out.
You gotta get a better spot for the next red light, right? You're fine.
30 people have gotten out so far. If they move right now, they're out. They have to hold this position until we say green light. And I can take all the time I want because we still have 23 minutes left.
We should get a green light going. This guy's doing a full squat.
Green light. Green light. Oh, they all stopped. Red light.
Oh, I called it! I called it! Oh no.
Push my glasses up.
Okay.
Do it slowly though. Be careful. Okay.
Are you good?
Perfect. Yeah, perfect.
Okay.
Green light. Red light. Well, you're still moving.
She was jogging over here.
We're gonna go see who's in the very back. You are in dead last. What's going on?
Like, I understand it's like, it's super viral and you can use whatever media you want to use in your channel and do it, but like it just seems so very bizarre that you watch the Squid Games again, you got through the whole series and you're like, I wanna be the evil empire, and that's it. There's nothing else to this, at least so far, right? But I don't see anything in terms. Okay, cool. All these people got eliminated in red light, green light. There was some memes. I guess let's move on to the next one. It's all very high budget. It all looks like the game, and it's as PG as it can be. You know, they're not even using fake blood. It's just squibs.
Holy crap.
Congratulations on surviving red light, green light. So, if you look at this TV, you'll see that only 232 of you survived. If you look above your head, you'll see the $456,000 you're competing for. And now let's move on to honeycomb.
In honeycomb, everyone gets a needle and a cookie with a different shape on it. And they have 10 minutes to remove the shape from the cookie. But if they break the shape, they're eliminated.
All right, so...
But like, okay, I get people being like, this is hilarious. Cool, like, fine. But there's like, does he do anything besides just recreate like everything he can, but it's just in real life? That's it? Like, that's the extent of the entire thing, start to finish?
So everybody, I'm gonna need you to get in the line in front of one of these question marks.
Why did you pick this one?
Well, yeah, the production quality, they just recreated the whole thing.
Did you even watch Squid Game?
So many of these people are about to get out.
Reveal shape number 1. Oh! Reveal the second symbol.
Look at how hyped they're getting. If I was you, I'd be getting pretty nervous. Reveal it!
That sucks.
Chris, go for it.
I know umbrella going home. That's all I got to say.
We got the circle. Thank God we didn't get the umbrella.
You look pretty nervous over here.
Even though you got the star, you're the main character. So you have plot armor, you're fine. Yeah.
Start the timer. The challenge is underway.
Because he's Asian.
You just hear them all scraping.
I hate my life.
I was taking it out of the tin, and it just snapped in half.
Let's see it.
Huh? It's working.
Take your time.
You had an umbrella?
What's the critique if they're just doing it for fun? Again, yeah, you could just do it for fun. Well, here's my critique. I've seen this already, and it was better. It's called the Squid Game. When I watched the Squid Game, you know, like if all it is just a 100%, like almost one-to-one recreation, sans death. We took death out of it because we can't, you know, get away with that one. But it's the exact same thing. They're going to be doing the exact same games. The stakes are kind of zero because you don't really know anyone who's competing right now, so it's just a whole bunch of random people to you. There hasn't been any storyline or development or anything, but it just would be really silly to watch human beings do these kind of things in the real world, right?
Sorry, bud.
Look at this. We have a successful...
I don't know how he was able to do this without them suing their ass. Oh, this would... I'm sure you could say the whole thing is just a parody. I was parodying the Squid Games, right?
Triangle, congratulations.
Thank you.
What Jimmy doesn't know is I brought a lighter, and I'm gonna drop it for somebody.
What?
1.5 minutes remaining.
Like,
Let's get it, baby. Yeah.
it's like, oh yeah, that's the scene. That's a part in the movie, and they also used it in the show. It was interesting when it happened in the show because it just, you know.
Oh my gosh.
Why are we watching? Because I want to be proved wrong, Steph. At certain points, obviously, it's not just going to be the Squid Games, right? Like, sure, it was up to then, but now, like, what I want to see is interpretation of like the riot scene where everyone just kills each other because they realize that they can do that. So
No girls allowed. Ooh, okay.
I just sent 3 people off. We got 10 now. Let's go. I should have taken the $4,000.
We now have 12 different groups of 10 people. Let's move on to the next game.
And now let's decide who faces who. Okay, we're gonna draw one from here. 6. We'll just draw this one. 5. Okay. Follow me to the bridge. And now the moment you've been waiting for, a game of tug of war. Team 6 versus Team 5.
Team 5 on 3. 1,
2, 3, come on!
You fall in the foam, or your flag crosses to the other team's side, you're eliminated. Are you guys ready?
Yeah!
Are you ready?
Yeah!
3. Skip a few, go!
Go!
Power!
Oh, it's going to Team 5 right now!
yeah, it's just 100% like, okay, they did the thing, and then they fell, but they fall into the thing, And then they play the dice
against
game.
their best friend. 20 marbles lets them move on, but
Play whatever game you want.
and other groups got creative.
What is this game?
We're throwing it at the bricks, right? Like the clock.
Right there.
Which is personally my favorite game.
Everyone throw. Oh wow, we didn't even get anyone. And while they're fighting for their chance in this competition, I want to tell you guys about Brawl Stars, who helped fund this video. Which, if you
It's on you. Hey, victory.
we had our first loss. If you're wondering where she just fell, don't worry. There's a giant foam pit down there. She's fine.
Well, now you know. Now
It's a good thing you told me that. I thought you were actually going to kill human beings for sport. But now that I have that part, I know it's all on the up and up. Thanks, Mr. Beast. Mr. Beast is Mr.
First jump. Okay, there
Non-murder.
are one.
Don't move, I'm not moving, bro.
Don't look good back there right now.
Moving on to the final game. They're gonna be the 456. That's why we're doing musical chairs instead, because we're not Korean. Start circling. Start the music.
Okay, I was wrong. I was wrong. There is some creative input. Instead of playing the Squid Game at the very end, they played musical chairs for the $456,000. All right.
Oh, this is the intensity. When will he pause it? When's he gonna pause it? Oh! Yes! Yes! Oh, no. Yes! 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 Oh my God!
If it makes you feel better.
Okay. Okay, so I noticed someone in the chat said, like, don't they already have good game shows in Japan? Yeah, so I've been to Japan, and the answer is, fuck yes they do. But first off, Squid Show, the Squid Show TV show, it's a Korean TV show, just so we're not conflating the two. But if you're referring to these... See this Tetris. Come on. Oh, yeah. Oh, 0. 0. Not even a 1 for effort. You get nothing. You get nothing. Shame on you. Oh, no. Oh, I've seen one where it's just a machine that smacks you in the balls. That's the whole game. Is this you have to push a button and then stand there as the machine smacks you in the balls. Takeshi's Castle was great, yes. And I do remember MCX, yes. Oh, that's easy. You got off easy. Yeah, that's way too easy. Oh, you got this. I got faith. I got faith. Come on. Yes. Yes. No. That was pretty close. All right, I'm gonna show you Slippery Stairs. That's like another one of my favorite Japanese game shows. Sorry, I gotta explain the rules. It's that there's stairs and they're covered in grease. So it's what you get on the tin. Slippery Stairs. Yeah, there you have it. I love how you have to be like the beauty of this one, the sheer elegance of it all is that slow wins. The slower you are, the better you will do. But that's just completely against the human nature of being in a contest, in a race with other people. You know, it just goes against every single inclination you would have to just charge up there as quickly as possible. So close! So close, Red! So close! Oh, damn, son. That's heartbreaking. That's heartbreaking, and you can see because he came so close. He's just like, fuck it, I got this. Just charging at it now? No, you can't do that. You see? You gotta slow down your game. By the way, now would be a really good time to explain to everyone who wasn't a millennial, when the internet first was becoming super popular and high-speed internet became a thing and suddenly YouTube was the next forefront, people were connected to a whole bunch of shit they never saw from around the world for the very first time. So that's where we got a whole bunch of crazy videos from Russia, a whole bunch of crazy videos from this, and that's where most North Americans found out that Japan had a whole bunch of game shows, but they were all like this. They were all just like out there and zany, and then that became a huge thing. That was just like a big era of the internet, was just watching Japanese game shows. Oh yeah, sorry, and I should say before even that, Takeshi's Castle brought it into the mainstream. So yeah, that's also true. MXC and Takeshi's Castle were definitely probably some people's first forays into this. So yeah, older Zoomers know about this too, or they're having their minds blown right now. The UK had a 24/7 Japanese game show? That's awesome. Red is good. My money's on Red. This is twice in a row. Oh! Taking everyone else down too! Savage! Savage! Took down the whole team. The whole team. This is the greatest battle in the history of humanity. Red versus yellow. What color is your urine? Oh, one of them has to take out the other one. You gotta play dirty. You're too close, or you'll both get taken down. Take out the... Oh. Oh, I feel like Red has this. Oh, shit. Or they could both lose it right now. They're so close. Oh, now comes the betrayals. Oh, no. They're both going down. They're both going down. If there was a slippery stairs like International League, this would be considered one of the most vicious players of all time. This is like a Hall of Famer right here, you know? The second he slams to the background, pushes himself off, like that's good technique, you know? The actual like the swan flap right away, and then boom, goes right up to the front. Whoa, look at Green go! Whoa! Savage! It was this close! Savage! Oh, what a play! Oh, Green has it. Green has it. Green has it. Yeah! Good job, Green! Yeah! Oh, God! Oh, God! I can't believe it! Suntory. SoftBank. I do just want to see this video on Mr. Beast and learn why Mr. Beast sucks, though. Because I can't put a bow on this segment with it just being an endless amount of fucking Japanese game shows.
The latest comments on my videos, because honestly, life has just been too great for me recently, and I deserve to be taken down a peg. And I noticed that for some reason there has been a noticeable uptick in extremely mangry comments. The bulk of them left in response to a video I posted nearly 3 years ago in which I detailed scientists' criticisms of Boyan Slat's ocean cleanup project. It was tough to figure out what was going on at first because the average comment read something like, "You are right, it is much more meaningful and useful avoiding schools every Friday to fakely rioting in the streets, screaming, 'How dare you,' asking for quitting this item that feeds and pays you." And what a nasty talk. Find something better to do in life. People like you makes this world worst. And You look like Boyan is your ex and he slept kith you, but broke up like the fuck girl you thinkin'. But then I saw comments like, Mr. Beast, sight bets. And while I still have no idea what that means, I do know that Mr. Beast is some type of social media influencer. So, a quick Google later, I discovered that several YouTubers, including Mr. Beast and Mark Rober, pledged to get their followers to donate $30 million, half of which would go to the nonprofit Ocean Conservancy, and the other half would go to ocean cleanup. So, I have no idea if Mr. Beast mentioned my video or what, but I guess that's where all of this slightly misogynistic anger came from. Like comments like, entitled white woman, see how it feels to be generalized? Shut the fuck up and appreciate a genius's work. And female detected, opinion rejected.
Yo, they all sound like fucking Elon Musk supporters, every single one of them.
You know it's true, because it rhymes. I guess that's just Mr. B's audience, I don't know. But I was still confused by comments like, this aged like milk, and I wonder how she feels now. Because it's been 3 years since I've even thought about ocean cleanup, so I figured, oh, maybe they finally got it working. That'd be cool. So I looked into it to see what they've been up to for the past couple of years. And spoiler alert, they did not, in fact, finally get it working. It's just that some YouTubers got their audience of small male children to give money to a particular cause, which led those children to assume that everything that cause does must be good and right. So here's the overview of all of this, in case you haven't seen those previous videos. Back in 2016, a teenager named Boyan Slat delivered a TED Talk about an invention he thought up that would be a floating barrier that sweeps through the ocean on currents, picking up plastics. Scientists praised his initiative, but offered constructive feedback on why his invention wouldn't work. The top reasons were the overwhelming bulk of ocean plastic is too small and too deep to be picked up by a barrier like this. 70% of the plastic sits on the ocean floor. Number two, the amount of plastic the project hoped to remove in several years is insignificant compared to the 17.6 billion pounds or 8 million metric tons we humans plan to dump into the ocean every single year. That's 48,219,178 pounds of plastic every single day, which is about 2 million pounds an hour. To put that in perspective, the 30 million pounds of plastic that hashtag Team Seas hopes to collect in 3 years, if they were collecting it from the ocean, which I'll get to that in a second, that would take care of about 15 hours worth of trash. Like I stated in a previous video, you don't worry about bailing out your lifeboat with a teaspoon before you've plugged the giant hole gushing water inside. Number three, ocean cleanup didn't really bother to get the science right when determining how the system would impact the myriad species currently living in and around the areas where it would be deployed. Another point, the proposed design wasn't stress tested for real world conditions, leading many scientists to point out that the barrier would likely break immediately and become part of the immense amount of trash floating around in the ocean. Slat saw these objections, which were, the most detailed of which came from female scientists, and he decided to simply ignore them. And what do you know, immediately after launch in 2019, the barrier broke immediately and became part of the immense amount of useless trash in the ocean. So that's when I made my last video on the topic. The barrier failed. So since then, Slat finally agreed with the experts that his barrier was just not up for the job. And so he set about inventing a new cleanup system. The system he invented is 2 fossil fuel powered boats dragging a net between them. For the 6 centuries leading up to Slat inventing this, it was known as trawling. Trawling is banned or heavily regulated in most developed countries because it's kind of a giant environmental disaster, thanks in part to bycatch, ocean-dwelling species that are caught and killed accidentally. Slat also heard
we do a little trawling
criticism that a much more efficient way to begin cleaning up the ocean would be first to stop those 8 million metric tons of plastic before they get into the ocean. Scientists pointed out that the usual route these plastics take is via our polluted rivers, which is why there's such near universal approval for things like Mr. Trash Wheel, which was invented in 2008 by John Kellett to prevent trash from falling into Baltimore Harbor. Unfortunately for Mr. Kellett, his name shall be lost to time, because now, a decade later, Boyan Slat has invented Mr. Trash Wheel. I mean, yes, he will admit that his interceptor has the same function as Mr. Trash Wheel, but don't expect him to come out and say, oh yeah, it's the exact same thing. It's a conveyor belt that grabs trash. Don't get me wrong. I love that some of the millions of dollars that Slat has collected over the past decade will now go to an actual useful invention. And I'm really glad that Team Seas has chosen to only give money toward the river interceptors and not towards the fossil fuel powered new trawler invention. I assume that they've seen the valid criticisms of that and they don't want to touch it with a 10-foot pole. That's why it is very important for these criticisms to get attention whenever ocean cleanup is in the news. Think of the millions of dollars and the insane amount of energy, both human and fossil fuel, that Slat wasted on his initial design that immediately became ocean trash for the exact reasons that scientists told him for years leading up to his launch. And think of how much trash would have been stopped from entering the ocean if that money had just been spent on the already invented interceptors at the outset. I am in the ocean constantly, like as often as possible, several times a week. I love it deeply, and I can never even imagine living far inland away from it. A few months ago, I was out surfing, and as I sat on my board waiting for a wave, I was looking at all these jellyfish around me. Jellyfish, by the way, that shouldn't have been there, but were because of rising ocean temperatures, so that's fun. I spotted a huge jellyfish, and I went to take a closer look, and I realized that it was, in fact, a big Ziploc bag. So I grabbed it, I tied it to my surfboard leash, and went back to looking for a wave. And that's when I saw, a few minutes later, bobbing towards me, a used plastic K-cup with coffee grounds still inside. So I grabbed that too, and then I awkwardly paddled into shore with my trash. And I surf in the middle of nowhere, so I wasn't really sure what to do with the trash once I got to shore. But then I saw two women walking their dogs down the beach. And I felt weird about it, but I decided to ask them if they wouldn't mind carrying the trash to a trash can. That's when one of the women took off her backpack, unzipped it, and showed me what was inside, which was a bunch of trash. She told me that they walk their dogs on the beach every single morning, and every morning they collect whatever litter they find. And I actually ran into them again last week. I was about to paddle out, and a woman asked me if a random flipper nearby was mine. It was not. And I was so delighted to see that they were still at it. And we all thanked each other for continuing to keep our beaches clean, because the things you see on the beach will eventually end up in the ocean. So seeing those women and knowing that they're out there every day chipping in, it just makes me feel so much better about humanity. Ocean Conservancy is the other nonprofit that Team Seas is donating to, and they oversee an international effort to get volunteers to do beach cleanups. I think they're great, and I highly recommend that if you get the chance, you participate in a beach cleanup. But Rebecca, you might say, you just said that we're putting billions of pounds of plastic into the ocean every year. Surely a handful of volunteers collecting trash a few times a year can't put a dent in that. And no, it can't. But it's still worth it. I point this out because a lot of the Mangry comments on my last video said some form of, well, at least ocean cleanup is doing something. What are you doing? You know, here's the difference. Trawling a net through the ocean might pick up some plastic, but it also burns a ton of fossil fuels and disrupts the lives of the animals in the ocean. A beach cleanup does pretty much none of that. You know, a beach cleanup removes litter before it can get back into the ocean. And research shows that people who participate in cleanups leave feeling more connected to the environment and are more likely to change their habits to be more like conservationists. They care more. A person might just donate money to a cause they're told is good and then feel like they've done enough. But a person who shows up and cleans trash off of a beach will take that experience home with them and spend more time thinking about that problem and how we can fix it, like truly fix it. River interceptors are a great start. Voting for politicians who will prioritize environmentalism is a great next step. You know, banning single-use plastics is the next step. Because we need to continue to pressure those politicians to make calls like that, even if it goes against their financial interests. For instance, the fossil fuel industry sees the world shifting to alternative energy sources, and they're covering their bottom line by trying to triple their current production of single-use plastics, which contain about 99% fossil fuels. For companies like Coca-Cola, the world's largest producer of plastic pollution. Conservationists have begged Coca-Cola to stop marketing single-use plastic and instead invest in reusable or truly recyclable packaging. But that would cost the company a lot of money. So instead, Coca-Cola invests a lesser amount of money in initiatives that won't force them to stop producing millions of tons of waste. Initiatives like ocean cleanup. Coca-Cola is one of their biggest sponsors. But I guess we can't really have that conversation because on the one side, we have scientists and activists pointing out science-based initiatives that can help stop the problem and calling for immediate systemic change to pressure large corporations like Coca-Cola and the fossil fuel industry to stop polluting our oceans. And on the other hand, we have social media influencers sending their fans to call those critics stupid man-hating bitches. Never change, YouTube. Never change.
Interesting. But that's not really so bad on Mr. Beast. That's more just kind of like the Team Seas thing is a little misguided and seems like a band-aid solution to make everyone feel good about themselves.
Financially, because like I was in the hospital for 4 days and not working right now. Actually got the virus?
I got the virus.
Wow.
Yeah.
So you were furloughed from your job, you then got the virus, and now you're stuck with medical bills?
15 grand is what I've heard so far.
Interesting.
Obviously, like, not working and living in San Francisco, like, I'm like, where am I gonna find that?
Yeah. Yeah, hold up. One
Some breaking news.
One second, sir. I gotta talk to my news anchor.
We gotta take care of
Yes.
it.
Okay, hey, so we here at MBSNDCGDBY News would like to give you $15,000 to cover your hospital bills. Also, I'm not a real news anchor. This is the most expensive firework in the entire world, and it cost me over $160,000. And I also bought a $5,000 firework, a $10,000 one, and this big behemoth right here is a $40,000 firework. And everything here, we spent over $600,000 on this video, and every single firework will be launched.
Like many of you, I assume that you've been exposed to Mr. Beast from YouTube actually pushing him, whether that be on your recommended tab, or on the trending tab, or recommended under videos you're watching. Essentially what this guy does is make crazy YouTube videos, a lot of the time revolving around spending a ton of money. Sometimes it even amounts to about $1 million that he actually uses on certain things in a video. So after first being exposed to his content, I've been really trying to think about why I have a problem with it, because it never sat well with me. And he does a lot of good work as well, and I know a lot of people in the comments are probably going to be saying, Mr. Beast has done X, Y, and Z, what have you ever done? Which is a fair point. He's given a lot of money to various good causes, he's given money personally in these videos to people who need it. But I guess in this video, what I want to talk about is how he uses these situations to grow his channel, and then it...
Yeah, I'd say there's a huge difference between someone who goes to, say, a very impoverished area and distributes food and helps people out, versus someone who does that, films it, and then does it as part of this big campaign to be like, all right, in my next video, I'm going to give away $10,000 to the poorest person I can find. It's kind of like using poverty for content.
Is in very poor taste a lot of the time, where he will give a certain amount of money to someone who is in desperate need of it, before then going to spend about $500,000 on something ridiculous like the world's biggest firework. And although it's not totally known where all his money comes from, people think, and he says it's mostly from brand deals, I'm just going to talk how it's in pretty poor taste during what is going on in the world currently at the moment, to be throwing around so much money on ridiculous stuff, which is often very wasteful stuff that can never be used again or can never be sold again, and then talk about why his content is sort of exploitative, just like traditional game shows back in the day. So this video is going to be sort of split into two. The first part is going to be talking about this game show he did a couple months ago. The second part is going to be talking about his donations to people who needed it during the current situation in the world at the moment, and then how he wastes loads more money on doing really, really stupid stuff. But Mr. Beast set up a game show where various people would compete to win $1 million. He actually clickbaited a lot of this because he did this in the numerous rounds. So he had parts 1 to 4 and said, you know, the last two, whatever, wins $1 million when they don't actually win $1 million. So you have last to fall wins $1 million part 1. Last to stop swinging wins $1 million part 2. Last to leave the toilet wins $1 million part 3. Last to stop riding bike wins $1 million part 4. Like I said, no one in these videos wins $1 million. They win this round and get put through to the final round. So this final round is last to take hand off $1 million keeps it. So yeah, it's pretty straightforward. The finalists all put their hands on a box of $1 million, and the last one to leave basically wins that.
Dead serious. Last one of you to take your hand off this $1 million stack of cash keeps it. I don't care if it takes an hour, day, week, month, year. I don't care if it takes a decade. The last one of your hands to come off this $1 million keeps it. Yeah! Mark is the winner of the $1 million challenge.
No way!
Yeah.
No way! No way! No way! No way!
$1 million, Mark. $1 million, you can buy a house, a Lamborghini, another house, depending where you live, another house.
This is unbelievable. Wow, man.
It's now your family's money.
Yeah, all of this.
Oh my God.
$1 million.
Seriously?
Yeah.
Yes.
You lying.
Yeah.
Oh my God.
So your boy's a millionaire, so I promise you that ring, and it is coming towards you when I come back.
So the contestant, Mark, wins $1 million. You can see there, very, very happy, calling his wife. This guy has just won a life-changing amount of money. Why shouldn't you be happy for him? He won it through a kind of stupid game show, but again, some random guy winning $1 million, wouldn't you like to do that as well? And I hope it was made clear, because the follow-up video is spending $1 million in 24 hours, where this Mark guy has to spend all his money within one day. Now, again, I hope this was made clear when they signed up to do this game show, because if it wasn't, that is a pretty awful thing to do. Just springing on this guy, yeah, you've got to do this to make some really stupid video of me, and all the suffering you went through for these ridiculous yet hard challenges, you don't really get to choose how to spend your money in a proper way, because I know, like a lot of you, if I won $1 million right now, £1 million, whatever, I would not be spending it in a day, I would not be spending it in a month, I would not be spending it in a year. I'd probably buy something like a new house, and then I'd keep it, or invest it. Now,
Wait, that feeling Mr. Beast shills an NFT pump and dump scan with Logan Paul and Gary Vee? Really?
60. No. I got like 30 people to call hop in. I'm like, I don't care. He's like, it'll be the best decision of your life. Just get in. I was like, okay. Yeah. And so I just joined the call. And I just see like Logan and I don't even know these other people. I don't want to put them on blast.
Every heavy hitter you can imagine who's worth $1 billion was on this one call, and Gary Vee is in the little corner, the little square. He's going, CryptoPunks. It's going to be huge. It's going to be the next Facebook. All of us were like, okay,
everyone's
Gary.
Judging. I'm texting Logan. I'm like, Gary lost his
legit? Bro, all of us were like, yo, Gary's nuts. Yo, Gary was right again.
Yeah.
What the fuck?
We got to keep the story going. So there's like all these like very successful people in this call. And Gary's just like, everyone shut the fuck up. Here's what you're going to do, and you're going to do it right now. You're all going to buy a bunch of CryptoPunks. And we're all just like, he's like, who here?
Yeah, checks out.
In the video, you'll see
on brand.
He just wastes it on lots of ridiculous stuff.
All right, so you now have 24 hours to spend the $1 million. Are you ready?
Yeah, I'm ready.
Let's do it.
Here you go.
Thank you.
Two.
Yeah. Give me two. I want a Nintendo Switch.
All right.
Two of us.
Whoa, Tip.
You sure you don't want the cheaper one? I'm just messing. You got $1 million.
That's the Series 5.
Okay.
Oh, no.
Do you know 10 pluses?
Of course, the new iPads as well.
Wow.
Thank you. I don't know how much that was, but it's right there on the counter.
All I need from you is a signature right here. The vehicles are yours.
You better not read it. You're a millionaire. You get time to read.
What if Mark was like, yeah, how much is this coat rack?
Just for clarity, how much is this house? It's $165, right?
Yep.
Okay, which is perfectly in the budget.
So like you see, cars, video game consoles for his friends, all this stuff. Now, it also goes on to show Mark's situation, which I think is inherently quite exploitative, playing the sad music where it shows Mark's life, which again shows a lot, but I think it also indicates something that is inherent in most game shows, is that people go on them to win, and people are desperate to win, just like Mark has the drive to do those challenges. He was way more determined than most people in these challenges because his situation is so bad.
Now we're gonna take you to Mark's house and just show you where he lives.
So this is where you currently live?
Yeah. This is my room. You know, this is where me, my wife sleep. You see, it ain't no room at all. Like,
you can't even open the door all the way.
Right. This is my little cousin's room.
Your little cousin sleeps on an air mattress?
Yeah, and he popped it, so it's flat.
Your cousin is sleeping on an air mattress that's like has a hole in it, so he's sleeping on the floor. Can I just say, I'm super glad you won the $1 million. I really am. The more you show us around, the more I'm like, thank God you won the $1 million.
So it's a kind of an insult in my mind. Mr. B.
To be fair, this is what all reality TV is. So it's basically a reality TV show, but it's a YouTube channel, pretty much. But yeah, that doesn't make it any better. I mean, at the end of the day, unlike the reality TV show, he controls the narrative, right?
He says the more he shows them around his house, the happier he is he won $1 million, sort of saying, look at the dump you live in, look at the way you live, I'm so happy you don't have to live here anymore. In my mind, that's pretty tasteless because lots of people around the world live in worse conditions than Mark here. Just having money doesn't mean you'll be significantly happier. Of course, it's nice to be more comfortable. And it also points to a wider problem with Mr. Beast's content in that he often gives money to poor people. He gives money to food banks and all this good stuff. He's beating around the bush by just giving money to these good causes, but at the end of the day, he's not doing anything significant to tackle the real problems of the world economy, of the US economy, why it's so bad, why unregulated capitalism and just capitalism in general is so exploitative. He's just doing these token things, and in my mind, it's to make himself look better and it's to grow his brand. Look at the title of his video.
Yeah, it's like, has anyone ever seen Queer Eye for the Straight Guy? Especially like the newer seasons. It's like straight up like, okay, you've got all these problems in your life. Well, here's a bunch of presents that'll solve every problem you've ever had. You know, it's like, here, look, you've got all this renovations. We got you all these toys. You got all this other stuff. Look, you got all these things. You got all these prizes, and it's like, well, this doesn't actually solve any problems. It's just like these one-offs. Okay, someone's in a shitty position. Yeah, here's a bunch of treats.
Spending $1 million in 24 hours, that's not, I am helping Mark, who it comes from a poor background, get a better life. Please, Mark, do this gimmick with me with the money you've won. and I can make more money off it. I can get more subscribers, I can get more YouTube fame, and I can get in the algorithm. This video has 43 million views. Again, if he wasn't clickbait and everything, do you think they'd get as many views for this series? So to his credit, Mr. Beast also sets up Mark with financial advisors just so he doesn't mismanage his new assets. And I'm sure a lot of people will say in the comments,
you can't buy away your problems.
It's
just not the best solution.
And gave him a lot of money. Mark is happy for his new life. He probably will have to work again since he spent most of his money. His house is only worth $100,000. So maybe I'd appreciate it if Mr. Beast said, here's $1 million and some financial advisors so you can probably never have to work again, because this is a significant amount of money. But again, over the course of
Pakistani Mango says, I'm going to disagree with you. I would rather have a YouTuber like Mr. Beast donate to charities and food banks than not. You're disagreeing with the straw man you created, but that's fair. I don't think there's anything wrong. I would rather have Mr. Beast donate to charities than not donate to charities. But what would I rather have than that as well? What if Mr. Beast used his incredible beast-like powers to do beast-like things? What if Mr. Beast was an advocate for a whole bunch of things that could actually help a fuck ton of Americans? You know, what if Mr. Beast was an advocate for, say, Medicare for all? That would probably go a lot further than paying someone's hospital bills one time, and through that one-time payment suddenly being like, hey, by the way, it's crazy, I'm gonna film this shot, hey, look at that, you've got broken legs, that sucks about your broken legs, but you know what'll help with that? This new coffee maker, and it's also sponsored by Keurig is what the episode's going to be about today, so it's good.
The video in the series, Mr. Beast has helped Mark out as a person. In terms of this video specifically, I find it pretty exploitative, showing his situation, Mr. Beast's comments, and using this guy for more views, for more subscribers, and for more clout for Mr. Beast himself. So let's move on to a more stark problem I have with him. So he's made recent videos about the world situation at the moment, and he recently rang up a bunch of people and gave them a couple $1,000s. So what people do is they tell Mr. Beast their story, how, you know, everything has affected them, their jobs, their livelihoods, their medical bills, and then he gives them a bit of money. Notice how I say a bit, because he doesn't actually give them that much when you think about it, especially because Americans don't have universal healthcare. The way the government has dealt with everything has been awful. One $1,200 stimulus check is not enough. In the UK, for example, if you get put on the furlough scheme, you get 80% of your wages, and that goes on through till the end of September. Again, pointing to a general problem I have with him is that he never does anything to tackle the real causes of these problems. It's just, you know, here is $5,000 random stranger, while I spend $500,000 on the world's biggest firework.
Never thought that the whole world would just stop. I mean, I live in New York City, so, you know, at the beginning I kind of was essential at my job, and at the end I wasn't.
You've been laid off recently?
Yeah, my last day of work was the 20th.
It hurts to hear all this. So here at WSMB, we want to give you $10,000 to try to make your life a little bit easier.
That's just crazy. That's just insane.
Oh, you're about to make me cry. Okay.
Trying to make a decision whether to take a job. You might get sick.
Hopefully, the $10,000 makes it where you don't have to pick, you know, a job that could potentially get you.
Like, this whole thing kind of comes off of this creepy, like, I don't know, benevolent YouTuber savior who's just doling out money to all these people. Like, yeah, you get $10,000. Oh, yeah, you got a reaction. Me too. Good, good. We're still rolling, right? Yeah, nice. Okay, cute.
Sick. How's the recent pandemic affected you?
I am out of work. As soon as they heard about it, we were shut down. So I rely on mostly family.
How does that make Blast University feel? All right, so we here at Blast University want to help you out. How does $5,000 sound? Do you think that would help alleviate some stress from your life? $5,000.
Yeah. A lot. I can pay a lot of bills.
We're glad we could help you.
I'm glad you could help me. I'm glad.
We just wanted to see how the recent events have affected.
Okay, I wasn't gonna bring up the whole him being white thing, because I was like, you know, obviously there's more poor white people than there is poor any other group, so he's going to start doing this $10,000 giveaway to other ethnicities, but every single person that we've seen so far in this highlight reel has been black. So this is actually more of a white savior complex than anything, it would seem so far.
People, how have you been finding yourself with all these things going on?
My second job is closed. Like my full-time job, hours are like reduced bad. So I had to go online with school.
So wait, you're working 2 jobs and going to school at the same time?
Yes.
We here at Blast University would like to give you $5,000 to help make things a little bit easier on you.
Are you serious?
We are very serious.
Yes, ma'am.
Well, I don't know what to say except for thank you.
You're very welcome.
You will make things a lot easier on me, and I really do appreciate it. Like, I'm kind of speechless.
Do you have time for a quick survey?
Okay, there we go.
Have financially and everything, things been good, or has the pandemic affected you negatively?
The pandemic has definitely affected us negatively. I got laid off from my job. Supposedly,
you got laid off?
My whole team just kind of got in.
Pick a number between 1 and 10.
9.
Do you think $9,000 will help make your life better?
Yeah, I think $9,000 would be amazing.
Well then, right after this call, I'm gonna wire you $9 grand to try to make things a little less stressful for you.
Thank you.
Yeah,
No, not all of those people are the same. But again, it seems to me pretty disturbing using people who are falling on insanely hard times for your clickbait video, which you've titled, I give $200,000 to people who lost their jobs. 17 million views. He didn't give anyone $200,000. He spread $200,000 among multiple people. Anything for clickbait from Mr. Beast. And like I said, a guy like Mr. Beast who's chucking around money like anybody's business, again, I don't know exactly where it all comes from, but if it comes from brand deals, he's not doing anything to really help these people's problems directly. Again, these people fall on hard times. Have you seen the cost of medical bills in America? You give them 5, 7, 8, 9, 10 grand. It's not going to help them forever. It's just
I'm gonna firmly disagree here because that can be life-changing for some people. Like if you get that 5 grand, that can be the difference for everything. So I'm sure for a lot of those people, like, you know, especially someone who's getting like 10 grand out of the blue, like that's still very significant.
Just, you know, a band-aid. And again, in this instance specifically, this is just trying to make himself look better. This is just trying to get himself clout. And unlike Mark's case, he's not significantly changing these guys' lives, especially with the uncertainty around everything. Now, that was 2 months ago. Most recently, he uploaded a new video called I bought the world's largest firework, $600,000. Maybe you should have used that $600,000 to give to people who have fallen on hard times. Maybe you should have used that money to give more people you say you care about, you know, the chance for a new life. Instead of wasting it on probably the most ridiculous thing in terms of you shoot a firework, it explodes, and then it's gone after about 30 seconds.
See, there's a good... Sorry. There's a good idea. So, does everyone remember when John Oliver bought millions and millions of dollars of medical debt? Because what medical debt companies usually do is they'll consolidate their debt into new, just jumbo packages. So you can buy medical debt very, very cheaply if you happen to be a third-party company or an investor. So you could buy literally millions and millions of dollars worth of medical debt for, you know, pennies on the dollar, because this is bad medical debt that most likely the people are too poor to ever pay back, right? That was a good bit. That was a good bit. John Oliver did it. That was like he bought, you know, millions of dollars worth of people's medical debt and forgave the whole thing using the budget that he had from his episodes from HBO, which is obviously significant. That does a lot better than like filming, like, and by the way, that happens entirely to strangers. Like John Oliver, while he does get credit, because people were probably like, holy fuck, thank you, John Oliver. It's not like you're just filming that person, getting their reaction, being like, all right, so you're really sad, right? Because you lost your job and time's really tough, right? You're going through a really hard time right now, so maybe pretty glorious if you got like $1,000 right now in your hand. You know, that's like sad music plays, a little bit more fucked up.
To launch the largest firework anyone in mankind's history has ever seen. Literally a world record. $160,000. Give me one!
Oh, there's... Oh, Joe, you can hear that.
I felt too much.
You spent $600,000 on that while giving some of these people who really need it a measly $5,000. I'm not saying it's not good.
Okay, that's fair.
Those things, but when you compare what he's doing,
that was horrible. All right, we have a festival in our city in Vancouver called the Symphony of Fire, where all these different like countries compete for the best fireworks, and like it is pretty, like it's outrageous how incredible the intricacies and complications are. So it's pretty funny that costs 160 grand. Let me relive the glory.
Mankind's history has ever seen. Literally a world record. $160,000. Give me one!
That's it. Looks like shit. Are you kidding me?
Yo, you can hear that.
I felt too much.
You spent $600,000 on that while giving some of these people totally ridiculous stuff just for clickbait videos. And it's not surprising, which he probably knows, this video did significantly better than the video of him handing out money to people in need. This one got 38 million views, which gets him a bunch of money, which also gets him a bunch of subs. And like I said, if you know there's a brand funding this, he is taking them to the bank, and he's made that all for himself. So I hope you see through the course of this video why his videos in general are problematic. And yes, I understand the people in the comments who will say, Mr. Beast has helped loads of people, he's given them loads of money, that's helped them out. What have you done? And of course I can say I have not done what Mr. Beast has done, but I also am not in the position to help anyone with that kind of money. When you can spend 600 grand on fireworks for a video, I don't think it's necessarily right you give so little to people who generally need it. I also don't appreciate you exploiting their sob stories, what they talk about in traditional entertainment TV, But of course, we all know it's just people suffering during this time. I don't appreciate you using that for clickbait. I don't appreciate the way you depicted Mark's home life and those comments about his home life saying you're so happy he won the money. And I just think it's generally pretty tasteless to throw around so much money like this on completely frivolous stuff. You can make entertaining YouTube content, you can make really weird videos or crazy videos, you don't have to waste so much in this context. I could say that I don't think Mr. Beast is genuinely a good guy anyway. I think he's all doing this to create this image of himself. I think he does the charity stuff mixed in with the rest, so people like me don't come out and say, why are you wasting so much money on the most ridiculous, stuff imaginable? Why don't you put this to good use? So what he does is he does put...
It's $100 to $10,000. RIP medical debt. Erase medical debt at pennies on the dollar. Every $100 you donate relieves $10,000. Okay, so what is just $1? So yeah, it's 100 to 1. So for every dollar you donate, you forgive $100 in someone's medical debt. That is wild. Let's keep this open, actually. I wouldn't mind donating to this. Okay, so that's the one aspect of Mr. Beast, but we need to learn about the other aspect.
Japanese culture can be strange to say the least. Number 1. Biker. In this prank, celebrities are sat in a room to watch a video apparently about an interesting bike race. Some of their reactions are priceless.
続いてはストーンズの残り3人がターゲット。
Number 2. Scream Olympics. In this prank, celebrities are escorted into a waiting room by a PR and encouraged to read a magazine while they wait. 5 versions of the PR appeared from nowhere as a counter clocks how long they screamed for.
Oh my god. That's so weird.
An umpire then enters to announce the result. Who will win the Scream Olympics? Number 3.
Mark.io, I'm not a fan of these videos because they make Japanese people seem inhuman, not like a Western culture norm. I think they make them seem infinitely better. This fucking blows the socks off any entertainment in Canada. Are you kidding me? We have Anne of Green Gables and like Trailer Park Boys. Maybe Kenny vs. Penny is the closest you can get to something entertaining. If we don't make this shit, this is amazing. No, this is way better.
Surprise Cool. On the variety show Yamapi no Kiss, there is a section called Surprise Cool, where celebrities are prank called and forced to speak English.
Oh, and Letterkenny, yeah, true.
I found this phone. I found this phone.
The Prancer round of pranks, this one's not that great. There's like, Just for Laughs, but like, this is funnier than Just for Laughs.
Confessing that she is in love with her. As far as she knows, the prank ends there. But the joke is really on her when Jurina's pretend girlfriend walks in.
Oh no, I'm trying to find the one where like the thing just like Angry Mob ones. Oh, these are
Angry Mob. Angry Mob pranks are a great example of how far Japanese shows will go to terrify the victim.
To be fair, I would do the exact same thing.
Number 6.
Yeah, you couldn't do that
Crowded
anymore.
elevator. In this
But if they have the most... Okay, this is the most extreme one I've ever seen.
in a specially prepared cabin and is about to get the wake-up call of his life.
This one I don't think you could legally do because like there would be so many like safety concerns.
It's terrifying to see him only held in by 2 thin straps.
But that's still not even the one I was thinking of. What's the evil chairs? What's this one? Oh, this doesn't have it. There was one where you're on a treadmill or something like that, and then like it just takes off, and then all of a sudden it's actually in motion.
Prank.
First contact. しかし姿勢がいいのでステンといかない。
Did we already see the chair at the ski resort? That was kind of what I was trying to show. What's up? Oh, is this it? Oh yeah, here it is.
気持ちよさそうにマッサージを受ける青年。しかし数秒後にとんでもないことが待ち構えているのだ。
Still the one I'm thinking of. This is just throwing someone out into the cold.
続いてやってきたのは2人。
No, this isn't what I was thinking of. This one just seems cruel. Just throwing people out into the cold. Oh, there you go. Okay. Yes. Yes. I love the rotation. Yeah, that one wins. Oh, that's good stuff. Good stuff.
This will come down to who can deliver the lower propensity and mid propensity voters.
our gods, Xander Corvus and Peyton L. Just, we will build a ladder to heaven to deliver you the daily news. To our monarch, Tom Spiker, we are your most humble of clownish jesters. To our lords, Trevor R. and Alexander Thaler, you have our undying fealty. To our knights of the round table, Nate, that one guy, Hagbird Celine, Matthew Scarborough, Stellar Vision, Ariana McCarthy, Daniel Sutton, Ants Are Still Running the World, Coulter Smith, Tom Groh, Val 9000, Jenna Tal, Quiet 185, Anna Loves Riley, Riley and Anna, Omni, Poodlehawk, The Tim Caucus, Multimondi, Trevor Janis, Lemmy 101, Anthropophojack, Saren 42, Chronic to Hemphog, Catherine, Radical Maniac, Ramon Acosta, Incosin, Violent Orchard, Sophie Baby, Political Puppy, Andreas Chiringuito, Zach Christensen, Josh Mickelson, Todd Buckingham, and Todd Lajeunesse. We shall meet you in the tavern, and we raise a drink, and we salute you.